Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's energy update with me, Rebecca.meisl. Very excited to tune in and to channel any of these advice and messages that have been coming through for us this week. We have some really beautiful energy. Hopefully you all have been doing well since this past week. There was a lot around old wounds. There was a lot around magnifying those wounds to really help them shed through this snake year and to release them. So hopefully all of you are doing well and looking after yourselves. So this week we have a really beautiful update with a lot of beautiful messages that are encouraging and uplifting, and I can't wait to share them with you. So let's dive in. So the first thing that came through for this week was realizing potential, seeing what has yet to be written. Maybe not all is in the stars. Maybe you are the one who has dominion over your life. Your choices reflect your worth. Stop waiting to evolve and grow now. Take chances. Let your wings take flight. Faith in action. You've always been who you've wanted to be. So demand more. And then they showed me this offer coming in, and now they're kind of showing me it as the hand of God offering to you, reaching out and say, take my hand. And it was almost like this is the offer that is at stake. It's either you stay where you are and not reach out and not move forward because of fear, or you take the divine's hand and you take this chance. So they're really showing me this offer is what's at stake here. And so they said, call in God to help you. Open your eyes wider, bigger, and surround yourself with creative influence. Never mind loss. Abundance is here, and it's never been so clear. So let's pause here. So much to unpack, even just within these first few paragraphs. So a big realization is coming to light for us. And I feel like this week we were really opening our eyes to what needed to be cleared, but also opening our eyes to what's coming forward, what's next in our history, and as we move forward in our personal journeys. And so this week, this is landing. We're starting to recognize the potential we have as human beings, the potential we have as a planet, as a new earth, as individuals, and our journeys. So this week we're seeing this awareness flood in, and I feel like the divine is very much being called in this week to almost intervene, because if you have not been seeing your potential, if you have not been feeling confident in yourself, if you've been lacking in faith or feeling like you just can't go on, the divine is showing up for you, okay? And it is our turn to take the divine's hand and trust the divine sees this in you. Even if you cannot see it in yourself yet, even if you cannot imagine a better world, a better place, a better life, the divine sees it for you. And this is where we need to have faith and trust and take God's hand. Take the divine's hand and take a chance on yourself. So it is so beautiful because it's making me emotional, because I'm definitely feeling these feelings of inadequacy, of not being enough. That is what they're making me feel. And the divine is like, we see all of you. We see your potential. We see what you're capable of. We see the potential of Earth. And you need to trust. You need to trust that maybe you can't see that light right now. Maybe you don't know how things are going to turn out right now, but we do. And we see in full color. We see the full spectrum. So take our hand. Take this faith and let's go. And it's so beautiful. It is so, so beautiful. And what's amazing is this awareness is coming in that maybe not everything's written, you know? And as human beings, we're taught to gather the evidence and trust what we're told. Right? We're very much trained to trust what we hear, to trust what we're told. And sometimes we just take that at face value and we don't dig deeper. And we don't look at the other signs that something else is possible. This is how the ego works. We feel safe in what we know, in what we see tangibly at this moment. But I'm hearing the outward signs are not trustworthy. Okay? So once again, we might be inundated with the opposite information right now, that everything's going wrong, we're in trouble, we're not going to be okay, we aren't capable. Maybe these wounds have been very magnified and showcased. Maybe they're actually showing me this guilt that has descended over many of us, this cloud, okay, that is clouding our judgment, this guilt as a species. Oh, we're terrible. We're not good enough. We can't. We're not capable. All we know is how to destroy, as an example. But this is not the truth. And this is what's so amazing, is our eyes are being opened this week to now see and reclaim the truth. So they're showing us that the power is in our hands. This is our life. This is our existence. This is how we choose to live it. And we have to take responsibility for our perspectives. So what's really coming through here is to grow, is to allow yourself to believe in more, to believe in your own potential, and really take this responsibility over your own life and your own choices. So they're showing me someone who keeps looking outwardly for their worth, outwardly for love, outwardly for acceptance, or this go ahead. They're almost showing me like this green flag of like, okay, now proceed. And we're waiting. And they're just saying, stop waiting. It's time to take the bull by the horns and to truly start moving forward now through faith. And what's so neat is they're kind of showing me this accountability in our choices. So every decision we make, every choice we make reflects our worth, reflects how our relationship is with ourselves currently. So where are we settling, and where are we afraid to ask for more? Where are we actually our own detriment by not doing more, by not being willing to reach out and to grow and take chances? So they really were saying this: take chances, let your wings take flight, faith in action. You've always been who you wanted to be. And I love this so much, because they're showing me someone who, once again, has a very skewed view of themselves. They're not seeing who they actually are, and they keep thinking they need to be better, they need to keep evolving, they need to keep growing, which is true. We do need to keep evolving and growing. However, to this point where they're so skewed in their perspective that they're not seeing themselves as enough right where they are. They're not seeing their capability right where they are. And it's so funny, because they're showing me like this person you keep trying to evolve into, to become, you already are it. And you've just forgotten through these programs, through these belief systems that are of detriment to you, that put you on pause, that do not allow you to see your potential. And this is what's being removed. They literally just show me the blindfold being removed, snatched away, so you have 20/20 vision. So demand more. And they really were showing me how this is what is at stake, because your worth is at stake. Your value is at stake. So are you really ready to accept this offer that the divine is giving you, which is step up, take the lead in your life, take our hand. We know you're afraid, but we got you. So call in the divine to help you this week. If you are really struggling with seeing what you deserve, if you're really struggling with seeing who you are, what you're capable of, it's time to reach back and go, I'm here, I'm willing to believe, I'm ready to start again. And they're kind of showing me this rebirth that's happening, because I'm like, it's almost like they're saying you are ready to live a completely new life. because that's exactly what will happen when you choose yourself, when you start seeing your deservingness and taking the actions needed, which changes the complete trajectory of your life. So, so exciting. So call on God to help you open your eyes wider and bigger and surround yourself with creative influence. I thought this was very cool because they were showing me creativity in this energetic form where we start tapping into that and surrounding ourselves with that and going, whoa, what can I create? What is it I want? How do I make this vision come to reality? And they're kind of showing me once again, as we step into capability, as we step into power, they're actually showing me delegation here. So delegating things that no longer align, or delegating some of this work, even to the universe, and assigning these things to your angels and your guides to help you bring this creative vision to light. Now, what could stand in the way of this is this energy of loss. And so we had a lot of talk around grief last week and not letting grief take center stage and realizing we have a choice to either go into that grief energy or to go into this new energy. So they're kind of showing me it being very much this never mind. Like, don't look at that. Clear it away. Almost like think twice about before going into this energy of grief or loss. So a lot of us will have this come up as we start exploring new ventures or new ways. And this was really being shown in the sense of when we take a chance on ourselves, when we want to move into a new dream, that then gets triggered. Well, what if it doesn't work out? What if I lose out? Or what if I lose something? And once again, we're shifting the perspective to fear of loss to what am I about to gain? And it changes, once again, everything. It changes the energy towards our manifestation. And I thought this was so cool because they're like, never mind loss, abundance is here, and it's never been so clear. So once again, we're getting this 2020 vision. We're finally seeing the big picture. Oh, these outward signs aren't trustworthy, so I have to start digging beneath the surface to see what the truth is. And they're showing me this new life that's tunneling almost deep in the dirt, deep in the ground. And we might not see it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It's moving, and it's like a rushing energy. So we just need to tap into it. We just need to recognize its existence, and then it comes to the light. So very, very fascinating as we move through this week. We're going to be seeing this very big shift if we are willing to see it through. So once again, our willingness to believe something different, our willingness to go beyond fear and disbelief, and our willingness to accept the truth. So from there, we move into this whole energy of being very particular and narrowing down almost this target audience of people who truly love, appreciate, value, and see your worth, okay? And it was very important that this is intentioned and almost made as the set intention for ourselves the next while, because they're really showing me, especially if you're someone who's been going through the self-worth journey, you need to be directing your focus to the people who do see you, who want to uplift you, who want to see you rise. And this also goes towards the clarification of your voice and your message. So they're showing me a lot of people being called to activism at this time, to be heard, to be seen, to be felt, to almost be an advocate for others. And maybe that's going to be huge the next little while as we all become this advocate for love and grounding that love into the earth and into this new version of earth that we are creating. So they're really showing me that it is highly important that we know our target audience, so we do not get thwarted in this mission, because it is very easy to look and draw our perspective to those who whom we seek approval from. And it is very important that we keep in mind as we move through this next chapter that we're no longer in this energy of chasing or desiring or longing, which also goes for longing for approval from others, and having this very centered approach of, I am going to be me, I am going to be in my power, and broadcasting that unique, authentic frequency, it is going to reach whoever it is meant to reach, and creating from this space of empowerment and intent, because they're kind of showing me this target audience here where we get very, very specific on who we're here to focus on, who we want to focus on, as opposed to the opposite. So a lot of us, we put out things and we just hope and we long and we just wish and wish and wish that it's going to take off and all people are going to love us and love our message and love what we create. However, that is a very unrealistic expectation, because you are not for everybody. You are here for specific people, for specific individuals. You are here to be you in your specific frequency. So you will repel people. And they want to remind you of this. There is going to be times that people will be repelled by you and your energy and your message. And we have to learn not to take this personally. Last week we had that conversation about how we're easily scarred. We can take these things so to heart, but we need to learn to become a little bit more tough-skinned, because you're not going to be for everyone. And they're showing me that the head knows this. The logic is there. We get it. But the heart is what's struggling. The heart is filled with hurt over this instance. And we've let that hurt dictate our steps. So once again, we're getting this awareness of a magnified wound here. So some of us are going to be moving into, once again, this rejection wound from last week. It carries forward into now the confidence, right? Realizing our potential. This is definitely a theme still hanging on this week. So where have we not closed out these cycles? And where do we need to bring awareness to what is now being worn out, gone, released? Okay, so we need to ask God to help us, and once again, setting the very strong intention towards our target audience. Who can you help? Who is for you? Who does support you? Who thrives from your voice and your message? That's where we need to be putting our focus. Not on who's rejecting us, not on who doesn't like us, not on who we can't seem to get approval from. That is the past. And they're really showing me that is not going to come into your future, because you're not going to be paying attention to it, right? We got this very strong, like, never mind. Almost like that's none of your business. It's not your business. Okay? Who doesn't like you? Don't make that your business. Make your business the people who do, who value you, who appreciate you, who cheer you on, even if it's just a small few. Once again, we tie our worth to numbers so much. And they're showing me this tie in there where it's like, well, I don't have many friends. I don't have many people who support me. You know, maybe we've put a podcast out or we've put something out there and we're only getting like a few views, whatever. That doesn't matter. It's about who you did reach, who you do reach, who you are sharing this love with. So once again, we're getting a lot of course correction this week of our intentions, okay? They really are bringing in this awareness when it comes to big ideas. So they're showing me that some people have this misguided, they've been misguided, okay? So they're showing me this individual who's been misguided by propaganda, by media. Everything needs to be big to be successful. It does not. So they're kind of showing me this reprioritizing happening and this reawareness that is coming in, this new awareness rather, of where we need to course correct and have more of this open-heartedness of intent of who I touch with my love is enough. Who's in my life who loves me in return is enough. I don't need to get approval from everyone else. The world doesn't need to support me. I support me. God supports me. These people in my life support me. And that is all I need. Okay? So let's read what channel here. So target audience. Direct your focus towards those who appreciate you and your message. Then they kind of showed me this weariness, okay? These tired eyes. And this was the public. The public is getting tired of seeing the same old thing, okay? Maybe you feel that way. I'm just so tired of seeing the same old thing, the same process. And so they're kind of showing me this long and drawn out narrative of the same old thing. And they're saying we need to go another direction. And when we go this direction, hope then springs. Okay? Now I thought this was really interesting because they were showing me this new path that we didn't even think of before, because once again we were so enraptured in what was told to us. This is what you got to do, this is the path, this is how you live your life, this equals this, right? And we're learning life doesn't work that way. Even when we get education, we get taught how to do everything, but then you get in the real world experience, our eyes are open. Oh, it's not that easy. I was told that this would do this, and now it's not, right? So they're showing me this like real world experience coming in, and we're starting to see and become disillusioned, okay? And we're getting tired. We're like, I'm so tired of hearing all this BS over and over and over, that this is what's going to give me fulfillment. This is what's going to happen if I follow this formula for life. Or this is how I set up my business. This is what's going to succeed. And then it doesn't, right? So they're like, you didn't see there was a whole other path. Right? You didn't see there was a whole other path available to you. Okay, so they're like, you need to go this other direction. You need to take this new path. And when you do that, it's like, oh my gosh, this is working. This is the path clears. Oh my gosh, I'm reawakened. I'm refreshed by this path because now I'm going my authentic way, right? And we start realizing that this authentic way does not negate our needs. And this was also very important. So this ties into our worthiness. A lot of us think we need to give up or sacrifice our needs to have fulfillment, to create what we want to create. How can you create your life without sacrificing? Okay, I want you to think about this week. How can you create what you want to create without negating your personal needs? Okay, they're showing someone money penny pinching, okay? Extreme budgeting, where there's no fun left, there's no play left, there's no excitement left because you've got to be on the budget, okay? Where does there need to be a little bit more flexibility? And where does the focus become on, I don't have enough, I'm scared to spend any dollar I have, to now, I am always open. I'm always expanding. I have money. I have wealth. I give myself what I need. See the shift in perspective and energy, even just in speaking those two scenarios. The energy is so much more abundant and flowing, where it's like, my needs matter. I claim my needs. I'm given to. I'm willing to receive. So instead of going this old mantra of I can't, I won't, I don't deserve, I don't get, we're now rewriting the story by going, I do deserve, I am willing, I am willing to receive, right? So start making this your mantra. If you find yourself self-denying, if you find yourself negating your needs or getting angry because your needs don't matter, and they're showing me this mirrored here, okay? So you're going to see scenarios that show this back to you. So someone perhaps not taking your needs into account, and that's making you angry. What about me? What about my needs? My needs aren't being met here. Why aren't you seeing this? And they're like, now go to yourself. Where are you doing this to yourself? Where are you negating your needs? Where are you saying it's okay that my needs aren't met? Right? We have to get back to this perspective of we deserve. We deserve, okay? We matter. So as we create this new world, this new life, all of us need to be in this vibration of willingness to receive help, willingness to meet our needs, and it starts with you, okay? So once again, don't negate your needs. Show what you favor, and life it shall bring, all in due time. I thought this was very cool because once again, they're like, show what you favor. So what do you favor in your life? They're kind of showing me choices. Well, what would you rather? What would be your favorite? What would you choose if you could favor one or the other? And they're kind of showing me like, take this perspective into your life now and what you are creating. Maybe something you're doing is fine, but what would you favor? If you could tweak it, if you could make it more, how would you make that experience? And play in that game of choice, because everything in life we have a choice. And they're really, once again, tying this back to this responsibility. We have the power to change things at any time. So once again, if you feel stuck, why are you stuck? How can we get the energy moving again? How can you make a new choice, even if it's just a small choice? So as this example of penny pinching and saving money, I'm not saying go and blow all the money in your bank account, but how can you make one small change to be more receptive, to give to yourself more than you currently are? And it doesn't have to even be financial. They're like, look at how willing you are to receive love. How willing are you to receive help, to just receive in general. And the more you open yourself up to receptivity, the more money comes in, because that is what's supportive. That is what helps. That is what helps us throughout this human experience in the 3D world. So they're like, stop viewing money as one way or the other. View it as a neutral energy and see it as a receptive energy, an energy that wants to give to you. So once again, are you open to be given to? Are you open to receive, right? And so it's really cool as we start shifting these perspectives and putting them into practice. This really helps us reshape our lives. And I love how they're like, life it will bring. So when we show ourselves what we favor, it brings new life to it. That's what they're saying here. So when you make a new decision, when you reshape your life, even in the smallest ways, notice how the energy changes. There's hope there now. Oh, man, that little change is what I needed. That little tweak from what drained me to now what can fulfill me. That shifted things. It brought new life to me. Right? Sometimes it doesn't need to be a big dramatic change. It can just be a tweak, and that can make all the difference. Okay? And they said, life it shall bring, all in due time. So the other aspect is we can't expect things to shift overnight. Our perspective can shift overnight if we allow it, but they are showing me that these things can take a little bit of time to show up in the 3D world. So make the choice, make the decision, and then let those seeds grow, okay? Cultivate that garden. Give it what it needs. Nurture it. Give it sun. Feed it, right? Water it. Do all the things that are required to cultivate this new yield, this abundance, when it's ready. So then what came next was relax the mind, bring peace to long suffering. Hope is here. You've just been too blind to see it. Recognition is key of yourself and of others. Potential comes together with constant learning. Regroup, share, learn, grow. this journey is not just about the destination, but what you will learn along the way. Okay? Now this was very cool. So let's hit this first note. Relax the mind. Okay? Bring peace to long suffering. So the mind is going to be pivotal because, once again, thoughts, okay? Our thoughts are very powerful, and they're showing me thoughts spinning round and round and round, and chaos, and this ungroundedness that a lot of us might be feeling and experiencing right now, because we have had some pivotal energy shifts. We've seen a lot happening in this planet on Earth right now, and it's causing a lot of chaos. So it would be very odd if we all were not affected by what is happening around us. We are, okay? So if you notice this franticness, if you notice this urgency, this worry, this fear that wants to step in and drive your actions, we need to learn how to relax that, okay? Because it's, once again, going to be very tempting for us to go into that, to feed that, to feel that. And it is okay if you do. We're all human. We're going to have our moments. But we need to practice. We need to learn how to relax the mind from not jumping to conclusions, from not immediately wanting to get into that fight or flight, and by not immediately reacting to what we hear, to what we see. Because once again, there's a lot of things that are beneath the surface that are happening that we might not see in our face. And they're kind of showing me a distraction energy here. So what is being shoved in your face right now? It is a distraction. That is what they're showing me. It's a distraction from what is actually happening beneath the surface. So don't play games. Don't get caught up in the game of distraction. Relax, trust, surrender, learn to let go. Okay? So bring peace to long suffering. Notice how they didn't just say suffering, to long suffering. Suffering has been forever. It's not an energy that just leaves. It's always been here. It always will be here. And it is up to us whether we participated in it or not. Okay? So notice how much we have a choice here. So similar to last week, we can choose one energy or the other at any time. Both are always available. The option of suffering, the option of peace. So in any circumstance that we find ourselves in, what's better for you? Would it be better for you to keep suffering? To keep enduring? To keep struggling? Or would it be better for you to choose peace? To choose to surrender, to trust, right? And once again, that doesn't mean we just do nothing in life, but it means that when we do something, it's coming from this space of centeredness, of groundedness, right? Think about the choices you make when you are in a fear state as to opposed to when you've sat back, taken your time, and listened to your intuition, listen to your heart, listen to your soul, and look at the outcomes of those choices. Were they better for you or worse for you when you did one path or the other? So once again, we're learning how to truly stay in a grounded, centered space despite anything that is happening around us, and to once again take the hand of the divine and trust everything is in hand. You just focus on what you need to do. That's why you're you. That's why you're here. That's why your soul chose this time to be here. So don't be in victimhood anymore. Choose to empower yourself. So once again, hope is here. And I love this because they're really, really telling us it is. Hope is here. Not all hope is lost, okay? A lot of us feel that way right now. All hope is lost. That's not the truth. That is not the truth, my friend. Hope is here, right? Think about how we grow and how we learn. Sometimes hurt and pain is the biggest catalyst for us to grow and expand. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing this birth happen, the pain of the labor before this new life is fully here. So you've just been too blind to see it, that hope. Okay, so we need to recognize it. We need to see it. We need to grab hold of this. So recognition is key of yourself and of others. So once again, they're like, look at the potential around you. So if you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling destitute, if you're feeling sad right now or overwhelmed, you need to start gathering the evidence that support is here. Capability for change is here. It already is changing. The energies are very forward moving right now. Things are happening. Think about all the things that have happened in 1 year. In 5 years, what has happened in 5 years? Not a very long time, but wow, there has been huge change in a very short amount of time. So things are moving, okay, and always changing. So remember that. So we need to recognize these things, and we need to recognize, once again, we're coming back to this main theme of capability. Everything can heal. We can heal. We can grow. We can evolve. So recognize your potential and others' potential, right? And there's this story here that is all up to us, okay? Be careful of that this week, where you're very self-reliant. It's all up to me to make a change. I need to be the one who does everything. Nobody wants to support me. Stop feeding that. Stop it, okay? You're not alone. Even when you think you are, the divine is right there with you. That offer always stands. Do you want to take my hand? The universe is going, do you want to take my hand? It's here. Stop denying it's there. It's right in front of you. Take my hand. Trust me. Once again, are you willing to take the divine's hand? Or are you denying its existence for you? Okay, so do not feed that story that you are alone. You are not alone. You are always supported. Now, potential comes together with constant learning. So, how do we start seeing our potential? It's by gathering the evidence of what we're already good at, of what we can do. And how do we gain that confidence? It's through practice, it's through repetition, it's through getting good at something. And then we recognize, oh my God, I'm good at this. We also see the potential of things. So even when we can't tangibly see it, we can sense it. Oh my gosh, there's potential of this growing, right? So once again, it's a trust, it's a faith. Even if you're not good at this, you're gonna get there. There's potential here, right? So we need to consistently learn. We need to consistently grow. We need to consistently do it, right? That's how we can really gain the confidence. Now, they really were showing me the power of community. So regrouping, sharing, learning, and growing. And we do this by really sharing our experiences. So they're kind of showing me community being very vital and very important. So when was the last time you were involved with your community, with people around you? Can you do more of that? Because they're really showing me the more you learn from people, the more you grow. The more you start getting the confidence given back to you because people see your potential and help you see it too. and vice versa. So they're showing me this receptive energy, this reciprocal energy rather, where it's like you are growing together. You support each other. And once again, it's like you have fun. They're showing me laughter. They're showing me happiness. They're showing me this strengthening through joy that happens. So this perspective then lands. The journey is not just about the destination, but what you learn along the way. And I thought this was beautiful because once again, it's like as we start building this new earth together, as we start building whatever it is you're building with with others and sharing this with others, the more it becomes a joy to you, where it's like, right, I'm building this. I might feel this pressure from society that I should have it all together by now, that it should be done at this rate, that it should be done on this timeline. But you kind of forget all about that because you're having so much joy in the work. There's so much fulfillment in what you're building, in the process of what you're building, that the outcome no longer matters. And so they're kind of showing me how so many of us have this very focal point, this big view of where we need to be and all of this story. But we don't need to do that anymore. We need to learn how to enjoy the process. Okay? So gather the joy in the process. Gather the goodness of what is here and around you and continue to share that with others. So the next point here is forgiveness. Forgiveness is key. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Compassion will show you the way. And ushering out of the darkness, inner child in tow. Step into a new wide world where darkness doesn't belong, where it will not haunt you, but show you to rise. Circumstances change. What was lost is now found and been regained. Blessings in entirety because you're finally ready to take it, to believe it, to recognize your power without guilt. Amazing. So let's discuss. This week we might also come to this awareness of grudges, where we've held a grudge, where we've held resentment, where we've held anger to others, to situations, to circumstances, to even the world, to whatever, okay? And we need to come back to this awareness of forgiving, okay? Forgive what has happened. Forgive yourself for whatever has happened in the past, whatever mistakes were made, because they're kind of showing me, once again, this guilt that has descended along a lot of us. Once again, this is what holds us back from our potential, because when we feel bad about ourselves, bad about what others did to us, we hold on to that and we let it stop us from growing, from doing what we need to do. So once again, it's like, well, I'm a bad person because I hurt someone in the past, so I'm undeserving. See how that story can come through? Because our emotions, once again, are not logical, okay? And this is stuck in our subconscious. So they're showing me this remanifestation of guilt, of I'm the bad one, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve, okay? The shame that maybe we've received. Maybe someone told us something about ourselves and we've been shamed about who we are. Maybe we've been rejected, so we're ashamed to showcase all of who we are because someone somewhere in our lives, maybe numerous people, told us that we were not right in some way. But see how that holds us back, right? So we need to forgive those who have hurt us, who have started that story to begin with, and forgive ourselves for whatever we feel is wrong with us. And give that body, give ourselves, give our souls this compassion and go, it's okay. Even if there was something that I did wrong in my past, I don't have to let that define who I am anymore. I don't need to let that define the rest of my days, the rest of my life. I can move on. And they're just saying, like, forgive yourself. Whatever it is you feel is wrong with you, whatever you think you did wrong in the past, talk about it, get it off your chest, acknowledge that you feel guilt over it or shame over it, and let it go. Okay, you deserve better. You deserve to stop punishing yourself. So bring awareness to whatever guilt or shame you are carrying and set it free. And release the anger you have towards another, towards anyone else. Okay, we're all human. We're all figuring it out. And all of us have a part to play. So what if this person or this instance that hurt you was once again that catalyst for your growth? Right? It's time to evolve our perspective so we can stop letting our pasts define us. Stop letting our hurts define us. Because once again, last week it was very much your hurt, your pain is not your truth. So don't make it your truth. Let go of the grudge. Go your way. Be who you are. Okay? And this is ushering in this new light in our lives. Okay? So I thought this was really cool because they were showing when we finally give ourselves compassion and we start giving compassion to others and we come to that energy of pure compassion. This is what changes everything and ushering out of the darkness. Okay, so where we were held in darkness, where we constantly hurt, where we constantly stayed, we lingered, we stayed stuck. Now this compassion is that guiding light. The light turns on and it's like, here you go, this is your way out. It lights the path forward out of that darkness, out of that guilt, out of that shame. Compassion is what does that. So if you are someone you are struggling with guilt or shame, find that compassion because that is what is the antidote. Find compassion, okay? This is what's going to usher you out of this darkness. And as they were showing me this, it was like this person holding this torch going through the dark, and their hand was reaching back and holding the hand of a little child. And that was our inner children. Okay? So holding the hand of your inner child, being the parent, holding this guiding light of compassion, and we're saying, let's go. Let's get out of this shame. Let's get out of this guilt. Let's stop feeling bad about who we are. Let's be illuminated by the light. How powerful. Wow, this is giving me chills. How powerful this is. When we reparent ourselves, we take responsibility, even when no one else was willing to do that for you. You become willing to do it for yourself, and it changes everything. Step into a new wide world. That's a channel. Step into a new wide world. And I love that they said wide world, because once again, it's like, it's big. It's not so small anymore. The possibilities start expanding, become possible. And we're like, oh my God, I've been missing out. I've been living in this small hub of darkness for so long. I didn't even know what the light felt like. I didn't even know what this world could be. And your eyes are opened. Oh my gosh. Step into this wide world where darkness doesn't belong, where shame and guilt doesn't belong, where it will not haunt you, but see you rise. And it's true. Once again, they were showing me like shame and guilt is what is seeing you rise. That hurt, it's what's seeing you rise. It is what's making you rise. So then you begin to have this appreciation for it. And it's so funny, like once again, what a different perspective. Even last week it was like, be happy when you're rejected. Whoever thinks of that? Right? And so this week, we're also getting a new perspective towards shame and guilt and appreciating it. Thank you for shaming me. Thank you for giving me this guilt experience, because it taught me how to forgive. It taught me how to liberate myself. It taught me how to love myself and love others, even when it's hard. And isn't that true? Love isn't always easy. But look at how we are learning. Once again, the balance of darkness and light. Darkness will always be there. And maybe we need to reframe it. Maybe we need to look at these negative experiences, these negative feelings that we have, and redefine that as this is what is liberating me. This is what is helping me rise. This is what's helping this new light be found on earth and within my own being. What a fascinating journey this human experience is. And it's all up to us, how we decide to view it, experience it. So circumstances change. So they're showing me that there's a situation that many of us feel is just hopeless, will never change. And then we're getting this illumination this week, how, oh my gosh, it's changed. So funny. A circumstance you thought would never happen is happening. Change. Okay? Once again, we're getting this awareness. Not everything is set in stone. You know, we had this very strong message at the very beginning. Not everything's written in the stars. Sometimes we like to think that everything's destined. No, it's not. Yes, your soul had a template. Yes, your soul had, oh yeah, this is what the main things I want to experience in this lifetime. But the rest is unwritten. The rest is up to you, your free will. Okay? So not everything is set in stone. Things are changing. And we might get a shock this week. Oh my God, I never thought this was happen. And they're almost showing me like this lost sheep being found, where it's almost like this little sheep wandered off and you never thought you'd see this little sheep again. And all of a sudden this sheep is coming back into the fold. And it's like, wow, I never saw that coming. And it's beautiful. It's almost like maybe this sheep is you. Maybe you had to go off on your own journey. Maybe you felt you had to go solo, and maybe you did. But now you're being returned to the flock. You're coming back to your family, to the people who love you, to a world that is founded on love. And maybe you never thought that was possible for yourself. Maybe you never thought family was possible for you, that love was possible for you. So you isolated yourself. You let guilt and shame separate you from the beautiful world, from the beautiful people who do love you. And now you're being welcomed back because you're willing to forgive yourself. You're willing to see you deserve to be part of this world. You're seeing you deserve to be here. And isn't that so emotional? Because once again, so many of us think separation is the answer, but it's not. Maybe separation was never the answer. Maybe you didn't need to cut yourself off from everyone and everything. Maybe you just needed to learn a new experience of love. What true love means. And it's freeing, it's liberating. And this is the blessing that we're being given. Okay? So what was lost is now found and regained. A blessing in entirety, because you're finally ready to take it, to believe it, to recognize your power without guilt. So beautiful. So this full capacity of growth is happening. We're finally getting to this amazing moment where we're realizing our capacity to love. We're realizing our capacity as a human being, the power we hold, and how these things are truly gifts we can give ourselves. Love is a gift you can give yourself at any time. It's just our beliefs that have held us back. It's just our experiences that hold us back. So don't be held back any longer. Allow yourself to see what's next beyond that belief of separation. Come back to the fold. Come back to your heart. Come back to love, because you do deserve it. And it's miraculous what heals when we allow love back into our lives. And part of this healing is now going to be echoing into our human form. So what was really interesting was, as I was channeling, it started coming into this awareness of worthiness, self-respect, then moves into our human health and our human bodies and that experience of the body. And the reverence that begins to take shape of our physical bodies and what we are capable in this vessel. Okay, very, very interesting. So what came through was, what's next? Nature takes the lead. Health advancements that we never thought were possible. Help is on the way. The moment we recognize brilliance, our potential, our power, change of attitude from disbelief to what's right on all levels, a new height of learning. Okay, now this was really interesting. So what lies and waits in the dark is now ready to be revealed. So we had this big tidbit of thinking bigger, beyond what we've been shown, beyond what we know, and coming to this new perspective. Okay, and then they showed me this equilibrium, this balance, this harmonization that is happening. Okay, so this was making me think very big picture here. So we might actually start seeing more of these health advancements come to light the next while. They were kind of showing me this new age of health and how it's going to be evolving and evolving with nature. So we might start seeing this return to nature. We might start seeing this rise of herbalism, of coming back to earth and using the earth to help heal the body and heal ourselves, and having this awareness of our own soul and body and how it is capable. So once again, this huge theme of capability. Okay, so once again, what have we been taught is possible for health? What have we been programmed to believe when it comes to our health and our capacity for healing? And they're kind of showing me like all of that is about to be rewritten. So we might start actually seeing some major health advancements, and if not, maybe even just in our own personal experiences, we might start questioning these old stories, these old beliefs, these programs of what is possible of the body and where we've actually been cutting ourselves very short. So once again, this capability is really, really helping us grow and advance and think bigger than ever before. So I love how they said recognize brilliance, our potential. And I want to say our potential as a human race. Okay, so once again, how much do we hear the story that humans are bad, humans have destroyed the earth, have done all these things, but what else have we done? What else have we actually been capable of? And how could we start tapping in to that capability even more? We've also seen this decline in health, especially where I am, where there's been a lot of decline in health and awareness, and even the ability and the accessibility to treatment has really gotten worse. And so they're kind of shining this light on this, on how can we start taking personal responsibility for our health and becoming once again more empowered in how we take care of ourselves and how we move through illness and disease. How can we start growing in our capability? So they're kind of showing me this healthy self-reliance, responsibility, and awareness really expanding in what we can heal and how we approach the human body. So incredible, so exciting. This really gets me excited for this next stage. So then they showed me change of attitude from disbelief to what is right on all levels. And I thought this was really cool because when they said what is right, it was almost like what resonated. And once again, we're getting this awareness to going with our intuition and going with the soul and going with the heart. So once again, not listening to what we're told, but to what is actually resonant within ourselves and learning to trust that, because that is how God works through you. That is how Spirit works through you and communicates with you. So when was the last time you checked in with your soul, with your heart, with your calling of intuition when it comes to your health, right? So we might notice some of this conflict in belief system this week when it comes to what we're told we're told to do, as opposed to what is resonating for us to do, and learning to trust our own judgment and our own capability for healing. So once again, they're showing me a fixed mindset, and it's softening and going, well, what if this is possible? What if what I'm told as absolute isn't so absolute? And having the willingness to question even very long-standing belief systems that we've adopted. And the key is we've adopted. Everyone has told us what to believe, and we've taken certain belief systems and adopted them as our own. But this is a key time for us to be questioning these beliefs and going, who told me this? And do I still believe it? And is my heart, is my soul actually in alignment with this belief system? So they're showing me this self-awareness coming in to our physical bodies this week, where we've been very living out of body. And they're showing me that a lot of us are not actually living in our bodies because we're so ungrounded. We're so uncentered. We've become so dysregulated that we dissociate. We don't even have that harmony within our bodies. We don't have the awareness of our physical. And sometimes we're scared. And they're actually showing me a fear of being in the physical body, because what if I find something I don't like? What if I tune into something I don't want to tune into? What if I find something I don't want to find? And they're like, we have to be willing to face the fear, to come back to being centered within ourselves as a whole. And then we begin to marvel at our human bodies, because we start seeing how capable we are, even like in decision making, when we are in our bodies. Okay? So we have to feel safe in our bodies. And they're saying that is key. So if you're someone, you want to learn your physical body, if you want to become more harmonized with your body, if you want to really master your health, they're saying you got to be in your body, which means you have to be centered, you have to be grounded, you have to be peaceful. Once again, we have to really resist fear. So doing the things that make your body feel safe again, safe for you to be, right? So nature, yoga, somatic movement, doing things that get you very much aware of your body and how it's feeling, and trusting the nudges. Okay, they're showing me this problem of outsourcing. So we've been taught to outsource everything, a lot around our health. Okay, and they're showing me a frustration at this, where we go for help and we don't get the help we need, and the anger rises at that. Well, I went to the doctor and they did not listen to me. I feel this, but they're not checking this. They're not testing this. I haven't been able to be diagnosed with something, right? And once again, the anger comes, and they're actually showing me the anger is because we're not getting the help we need. We're not getting the support we're looking for. We're not being heard. So where can we now mirror that to our own selves and go, where have I not been listening? Where have I not been hearing the messages of my body, or hearing them and ignoring them? right? So they're kind of showing me, where do we now need to come into the body and recognize the body and listen to the body and what it is trying to say. So this week, spend some time going into your beliefs around health, the beliefs you have around your body's capability to heal, and really go, is this resonant for me? Is this still what I want to believe? And if you're not getting the support you need, how can you, right? So they're also showing me, like, do your due diligence, okay? So if there's something that's not feeling right, do your due diligence. How can I now check in with this? And yes, when you need support from a practitioner, a doctor, a healer, however you resonate, do that. So once again, there's this amazing awareness of like capability, but knowing when it's necessary. So don't outsource, don't give your power away. Listen to your intuition. That is your ultimate guide. Okay? So change of attitude from disbelief to what is right on all levels, a new height of learning. Now, they're really showing me a huge, like, blow yourself out of the water scenario where it's like, wow, I never thought this was possible. So something like that might happen this week where we get blown out of the water of, once again, what the human body is capable of. Really interesting. So what lies and waits in the dark is now ready to be revealed. Think bigger and beyond the 3D experience. Balance is restored at last. So I keep circling back to this, but we're going to wake up to the power of our souls. We're going to wake up to the power of our bodies. We're going to wake up to the power of us as a species and who we are individually. And this is such a huge moment. This is a massive moment for us. It's a massive turnover where we can finally go, this is me. I am capable, I am worthy, I am deserving, way beyond what I even thought. And it's amazing because this balance is then restored because we move out of being a victim to life to now being the leader of life. And this is ushering in this new dawn. So they literally said the new earth is ushering in as soon as you recognize it. Right? The new earth is always there. It's always there for you. It's not something to always anticipate. It's actually here. We just have to see the signs. We just have to focus our attention there and see that it's here. Okay? So take responsibility, take empowerment now. Your health is your wealth. So action and attitude was a big one. So I asked, okay, is there anything else we need to know for this week? So they said action and attitude. So where do you need to take action and where do you need to adjust your attitude? And then I heard break a leg, like forward movement. Let's get going. All right. The next thing was backstabbing and betrayal, recognition of wounds and how to heal them. So once again, where forgiveness is coming in, maybe we've been betrayed, maybe we felt backstabbed, maybe we've had this experience. Where are we now ready to shift our perspectives and forgive and move on? Then they go resurrection and rebirth. This is the era of the phoenix. We will rise from the ashes into the unknown. Trust that God is on the way, keeping a keen eye on the horizon. And this is really interesting because they really were showing me like this awareness that it's all coming. There is a shift on the horizon and we just have to keep looking for it. We have to keep an eye out for these changes. And we're in this era of the phoenix. And I thought that was a really interesting and very resonant way of wording it, because it's true, the phoenix is totally burnt to the ash and it rises from the ashes. So it's like what is dead is then reborn, right? That's exactly what's happening. So when we have this big picture, it makes things easier because we have the clarity. We don't get sucked in by the distractions, by the darkness, by the things that are happening, the chaos around us. We're focused. right? So once again, it's like we keep our eyes on the horizon. God is coming. The divine is coming. The divine is here. And we have this to look forward to. There's no need to be afraid because we trust, because we know we are capable. This earth is capable. God is capable. So there's nothing to fear. Your body is capable. How amazing is this? So if you take away anything from this reading today, it is capability. So see it, believe it, and watch as this world change. So my friends, that's all I have for us this week. I truly hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, let me know. And I'm sending you all the love in the world for this week and always. Have a great day. Bye.